It's been reported that nearly 1 in 3 retirees struggle with depression within just a few years of leaving the workforce. And that's because retirement isn't just about money, it's about meaning. So if you want to avoid emptiness, instead build a retirement that's truly fulfilling, you're in the right place. Today I want to share a mental framework with you to help you have a prosperous, enjoyable, and purposeful retirement. Hello. If we haven't met before, I'm Planner Mike, a certified financial planner, professional, and owner of True Wealth Financial. This is the show that's dedicated to helping Christians retire with confidence and clarity so they can finish their race with purpose. Thanks so much for tuning in. Some time back ago, I was having a conversation with a personal client, and they're experiencing some health challenges, and it was wintertime, so it was cold and dark outside, and there's some challenges going on relationship-wise in their life. And they're really struggling, really just kind of bummed out, and maybe even had a case of the retirement blues. Sadly, there is a darker side to retirement. While it can be great, it can also be challenging. Retirement depression is a real thing, and it can spiral out of control pretty fast if you don't do anything about it. So I shared today with you a 7F framework that I shared with them that might help you as well. And if you're not retired, don't worry about it. This could be even helpful now. And ideally, if you can learn it before you actually get to retirement, all the better. You'll potentially bypass all the downsides of retirement depression. And of course, we'll close with one micro action to help you get one step closer to retirement that is prosperous, enjoyable, and purposeful. As humans, we are designed to move forward. If you think about it, everything in our body is designed to go forward. Our eyes look forward. Our ears kind of hear forward. Our feet go forward. Our waist and our hips go forward. Everything's designed to move forward, not backwards. And therein lies the key to having a prosperous, enjoyable, and purposeful retirement. To move forward in these different areas of life, really 7 different areas. You can think of it's a whole with 7 different pieces, and you're trying to excel or grow or at least maintain what you have in all of those areas. So F number 1, and that is finances. Money is something that we interact with just about every day, and that doesn't stop at retirement. And it's pretty much the central idea of being retired, right? You have enough money to live the life you want. So if it's a struggle or things are tight, this is going to lead to stress. It's going to be a challenge. And so we talk a lot of times about money, so we won't dive deep into this here, but this is an area that you certainly want to stay on top of as you progress through your retirement. The next one is that of faith. While we're physical beings, we're also spiritual beings. Not too long ago, Eric and I were on a weekend retreat, and one of the topics they talked about was spiritual toughness. And it wasn't really talking about religion per se, but more spirituality. So spirituality being air, breath, energy, connection, things like that, things that we're kind of connected to more, not just on a physical sense, but on a spiritual sense. And as Christians, we obviously have a spiritual connection to God and other believers that need to be developed and expressed over time. So the more we can lean into that area, right? A lot of times, unfortunately, this is an area that gets squeezed out while we're working. But with retirement here, we have more time. This is an area that we can really lean into. And that's really going to be a theme throughout all these areas. It just comes down to prioritization. The third F is that of fitness. So our health drives a lot of things, right? How we sleep, how we eat, the ability to move will have a large impact on how we feel. I've heard it said a lot of times there's kind of levels to energy. There's the base level, the physical level, right? Everything kind of is off of that. And then there's the mental. So our mental sharpness is dependent upon our physical energy. And then there's our emotional energy that kind of sits on top of that. So the physical is the base, it's the foundation. And the other two can only get as good as the physical. So the more we take care of our bodies, the better we'll feel in retirement. And this is an area, again, that just takes some prioritization. The fourth F in the mental framework that you can implement to help avoid some of the retirement blues and depression is that of family. Most of us are born into a family structure, and that family structure has a large impact as to who we are, what we become, how we think about things, the way we view things. So keeping those relationships healthy and active can help dramatically in this stage of life. I have a client who every year they have a cousin reunions, right? So obviously the parents and grandparents have passed away. And so they still have some siblings around. But what they decide to do is reach out to other cousins, and they all get together in the upper Midwest for about a week or so. They get together, they talk, they interact, they have some activities, they bond, they share stories. And it's a time they really just to enjoy each other's company and kind of reminisce on the old days and kind of keep pace with the new days that are coming up. So yeah. And so that's a great idea to be intentional with keeping connection with family. The fifth F is similar, just not blood related, and that is friends, right? We are social beings. Interacting with other people is really important. I just recently had a conversation with someone who is expressing the idea of they feel alone. Really, since COVID, they kind of worked from home, and some of the relationships have kind of teetered. And so as they transition into retirement, they're really thinking about the idea of moving to a more active and engaging retirement area or community where some of that structure can be built in, where you can interact with people around clubs and activities and events and stuff like that to help foster some of that desired interaction they're having. Having people with similar interests and even sometimes different beliefs and interests and hobbies and things like that can really enhance your level of retirement. F number 6 is that of fun. And I'd say of all of them, this is probably the area where we struggle the most. As kids, we can be silly and curious, but life has a habit of kind of beating us down to the point where we really don't emphasize it much. But the reality is life is meant to be enjoyed. 1 Timothy 6:17 ends with the idea, but in the living God who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. We're meant to enjoy life. I read one time that the author said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. So this is a great time. We have the time freedom, hopefully the economic freedom to go and engage in some things. I recently was having a conversation with someone not so long ago, and that couple has gotten into all kinds of different activities. They said they're busier now as they're in retirement than they were beforehand, right? So explore the things that you've always wanted to do. They're talking about bike riding and shooting and camping and taking trips and interacting with people and doing some missions work and stuff. All kinds of things that they started really stepping into because they have the time and the freedom to do so, and they're really, really enjoying life. F number 7. And from my perspective, and really what the retirement studies indicate, that this is the most important, and that is fulfillment. The idea of giving back. Having some sort of cause or crusade or calling that you can give to other people. Finding others that struggle with something that you've excelled at or done good at and really helping them out. Obviously, you can do this on an individual level, but it can also be done through different venues like churches or organizations or groups or nonprofits or even work, employment, for-profit employment or ministry, a whole bunch of areas. But finding something that's important to you and extending that, reaching into that where it helps others either directly or indirectly. All the studies show that that is the most important aspect of having an enjoyable and purposeful retirement, and that is fulfillment. Human nature drives us to move forward and to progress. Again, everything in our body is designed to move forward, and retirement shouldn't change that. So looping back to the client that I explained in the beginning that they were kind of struggling with things and kind of having a case of retirement blues, I drew this out on my iPad with the 7 F's here, similar to this. And the idea is that what I explained to her is, you're not going to be great at everything, but what you can do is you can try to improve in a couple areas. So what I encouraged them to do was to go through these areas and brainstorm 3 ideas for each area. What are 3 things you can do to improve that aspect or that piece or that sliver of life? And I encourage you to do the same thing. So as we conclude, if you're still with me, do me a favor, hit that like button down there and consider subscribing. It helps spread this information to others who might need it. And more importantly, you'll be notified of future episodes. Today, we talked about a mental framework to have a fulfilling, purposeful retirement. I totally understand how overwhelming and confusing retirement planning can be. So if you have any questions, please feel free to list them in the comments below, or you can send an email to mike@truewealth.show. But for today, a good micro action might be to find the area that you think you're struggling the most, and at least list out 3 things. Maybe if you want to, we could crowdsource this and share. Well, I'm curious, what's the area that you struggle with the most of these? And what's one little baby step that you can do to improve that area? Remember, retirement isn't just about money. It's about meaning and purpose. Hopefully this helps you on your path to a retirement that is prosperous, enjoyable, and personal. Till next time, hope you have a great day. God bless you.